So let's take a look at recursive formulas. So remember, we kind of already talked about this. A recursive formula is basically, it relates the next term to the previous term. So it relates the next term to the previous term. And then recursive formulas always have the same setup. They start off with this equation like this: a sub n equals. So a sub n, our nth term, is equal to a sub n minus 1 plus 2. Okay, well, what does that a sub n minus 1 represent again? Previous term. Okay, and then you're always going to be given a starting point with the recursive formula. So with a sub 1 equals 2. Alright, so if I want to find a sub 5, what am I having to do? What is that telling me to do? Find the fifth term. Okay, so here we go. A sub 1 equals 2. So my first term is 2. A sub 2. This is where the formula comes in. A sub 2 says to take the previous term and do what? Add 2. So I take my previous term, a sub 1, and I add 2 to that. So a sub 1, what's the value of a sub 1? 2. 2 plus 2 is?
So a sub
4.
is
So what's a sub 3?
6.
A sub 4. And then a sub 5. So that's how we use a recursive formula. Now notice this, were we able to jump right to the fifth term?
No.
No, we actually had to find, in order to find the fifth term, I had to find the fourth term. Well, in order to find the fourth term, I had to find the third term. And I had to keep working my way back up to 1. I guess I know it was a shorter way we're talking about that. But, look at the next question. Suppose I wanted you to find a sub 100. Find the 100th term.
Well, if 5 is 10,
Then what?
multiply that by 20.
Wrong.
Well, couldn't you take, if A1 equals 2, wouldn't you times the A1? You take the 100 and times it by 2. Wouldn't that give you your answer?
That's a different type of formula. It's called an explicit formula.
Okay.
The problem is, if you're going to strictly stay with the recursive, I can't figure out the 100th term until I figured out the 99th term.
Oh, that's bull. That's bull.
But in order to find the 99th term, I have to know the 98th term. So in order to do this with recursive, you'd actually have to list out all 100 terms.
Man.
That would kind of suck. So no, you don't have to do that. So recursive formula is great. This is the advantage. It's great when you only have to find low number of terms. And maybe you just like find the 7th or the 8th term. It's probably not too bad to go in and use the recursive formula to do that. Or if you're being asked to find the first 7 terms, that's when you're going to use the recursive formula and start listing out the terms. But when you're asked to find the 100th term, that's going to get a little bit insane, and it will list out all 100 terms, isn't it? So there's an advantage here, and that's called the explicit formula.